So we come to the third video of the lightweight boxing history. Went from the WBA title September the 13th, 1971. Ken Buchanan wins on points over 15 rounds against Ismael Laguna from Panama in New York. Then we got the infamous fight with Roberto Duran and Ken Buchanan. So July 26th, 1972, Roberto Duran of Panama wins in the 13th round, referee stopping the fight against Ken Buchanan in New York. And again, it was a low blow, but he says he's reminded, Ken Buchanan's always reminded Roberto Duran every time he goes to the toilet. But anyway, that's another story. So that was for the WBA in New York and British recognition of the title. So the great Roberto Duran there. Then we go for his, I think he's still a record in the division, the lightweight division. His reign. So we got January the 20th, 1973, Roberto Duran wins in the 5th round against Jimmy Robertson by KO. And yeah, Jimmy Robertson from the US, and that was in Panama City, Panama. Then you got June the 2nd, 1973. Roberto Duran wins in the 8th round. Referee stops the fight against Hector Thompson from Australia. That was in Panama City, Panama. Then Britain and New York withdrew recognition of Duran in September 1973 for failing to honour his contract with Madison Square Garden to defend against Ken Buchanan. So, September the 8th, 1973, Roberto Duran wins in the 10th round, referee stopping the fight, against the Japanese fighter Guts Ishimatsu. That was in Panama City, Panama. Then March the 16th, 1974, Roberto Duran wins in the 11th round, referee stopping the fight, against Esteban Jesus. He beats him in the title fight. I'm sure he lost him in a non-title fight there. And that just through his 80-yard fight winning streak with one loss, basically. Well, that was to Esteban Jesus in a non-title fight. But this is for the title, so he gets his revenge. March 16th, 1974, Roberto Duran wins in the 11th round, referee stopping the fight, against Esteban Jesus in Puerto Rico. From Puerto Rico, and it was in Panama City, Panama. Then you got March the 16th, 1974, Roberto Duran. Oh, we've done that one. That's the Esteban Jesus. So December the 21st, 1974, Roberto Duran wins in the 1st round, referee stopping the fight, against Masataka Takayama from Japan. 1st round, referee stopping the fight there, against his Japanese opponent, Roberto Duran. That's in San Jose. In March the 2nd, 1975, Roberto Duran wins by KO in the 14th round against Ray Lampkin from the US in Panama City, Panama. Then December the 14th, 1975, Roberto Duran wins by KO against Luencio Ortiz from Mexico. Wins in the 15th round by KO. That's in San Juan. May 22nd, 1976, Roberto Duran wins in the 14th round by KO against Lou Bizarro from the US in Fort Erie, Canada. Then October the 15th, 1976, Roberto Duran wins by KO in the first round again against Alvaro Rojas from, I think that's Croatia, CR. That's in Los Angeles. Then January 29th, 1977, Roberto Duran wins by KO in the 13th round against Villamar Fernandez from Dominican Republic in Miami, Florida. Then September the 17th, 1977, Roberto Duran wins on points over 15 rounds against Edwin Viruet from Puerto Rico, good fighter, had a few fights with him, and that's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Then January 21st, 1978, he goes 2-1 against Esteban Jesus, and in the trilogy, Roberto Duran wins by KO in the 12th round. That's a KO in Las Vegas. Remember seeing that, and seen that one, and the Ken Buchanan fight many times. That was for the undisputed title, which Duran relinquished in January 1979 because difficulty making weight. So he jumped up 2 weights above. He did win the welterweight title. But again, I digress. But again, he had a lot of straight knockouts there in his reign. Had 5 on the trot there, KOs, clean KOs there. And he had He had 6 KOs out of all his defences. Out of them 13 title fights, he had 6 clean KOs. Yes, so I digress. So June 16th, 1979, Ernesto Espada from Venezuela wins by KO against Claude Noel from, I think that's Trinidad, San Juan, for the vacant title. Then August the 4th, 1979, Ernesto Espada wins in the 9th round, referee stopping the fight, against Johnny Lira from the US in Chicago, Illinois. Then we go to August the 4th, 1979, Ernesto Espada from Venezuela, who won the vacant title against Claude Noel by a 13th round KO. He fights, Ernesto Espada from Venezuela fights Johnny Lira from the US, and he beats Johnny Lira in the 9th round, referee stopping the fight. It's in Chicago, Illinois. Then March the 2nd, 1980, Hill McKenzie, the Kronk fighter from the US, wins in the 9th round, referee stopping the fight against Ernesto Espada. That's in Detroit, Michigan. August the 2nd, 1980, Hill McKenzie wins, referee stops the fight in the 9th round against Yong Hoo Oi from Korea in Detroit, Michigan. So September the 20th, 1980, Hill McKenzie wins in the 4th round, referee stopping the fight against Ernesto Espada from Venezuela in San Juan. Then November the 8th, 1980, Hill McKenzie wins a 15 rounds points decision against Villamar Hernandez I think from the Dominican Republic. That was in Detroit, Michigan. So, April the 12th, 1981, Sean O'Grady from the US wins on points over 15 rounds against Hill McKenzie, Atlantic City, New Jersey. August 81, the WBA vacated O'Grady's title because of a contractual dispute. I remember O'Grady did fight for, I think it was WAA, Athletic Association title. I think his dad run the organisation, but yeah, I digress. I come back. So September the 12th, 1981, Claude Noel wins on points over 12 rounds. Sorry, over 15 rounds, should I say. September the 12th, 1981, Claude Noel wins on points over 15 rounds against Rodolfo Gonzalez from Mexico. That was in Atlantic City, New Jersey for the vacant title. Then December the 5th, 1981, Arturo Frias from the US wins by KO in the 8th round against Claude Noel. And that's Las Vegas, Nevada. Then January 30th, 1982, Arturo Frias wins a technical decision in the 9th round against Ernesto Espanas from Venezuela, in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Then May the 8th, 1982, Ray Boom Boom Mancini from the US wins in the first round, referee stopping the fight against Arturo Frias in Las Vegas. July the 24th, 1982, Ray Mancini wins in the 6th round, referee stopping the fight against Ernesto Espana from Venezuela. That was in Warren. November the 13th, 1982, Ray Boom Boom Mancini wins in the 14th round, referee stopping the fight against Juek Koo Kim from Korea. 14th round, referee stops the fight. Yeah, that was the fatality one. That was a shame, that one, real shame. Tough little fighter, Kim. And that was Las Vegas, Nevada. September the 15th, 1983, Ray Boom Boom Mancini wins in 9th round by KO against Orlando Romero from Peru. Ray Mancini wins by KO in the 9th round against Orlando Romero from Peru in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Then January the 14th, 1984, Ray Mancini wins in the 3rd round, referee stopping the fight against Bobby the Schoolboy Chacon from the US. Ray Mancini stops Bobby Chacon in the 3rd round, referee stopping the fight in Reno, Nevada. Then June the 1st, 1984, Livingston Bramble from the Virgin Islands wins in the 14th round, referee stopping the fight against Ray Boom Boom Mancini. The fight from Youngstown, Ohio, and that was in Reno, Nevada. So February 16th, 1986, Livingston Bramble wins in the 13th round, referee stops the fight against Tyrone Crawley from the US. That was in Reno, Nevada. Beats him in the 13th round, Livingston Bramble. Then September 26th, 1986, Edwin Rosario from Puerto Rico wins by KO in the 2nd round against Livingston Bramble. That's in Miami, Florida. Then August 11th, 1987, Edwin Rosario wins in the 8th round by KO against Jorge Nazaro from Puerto Rico in Chicago, Illinois. Then November the 21st, 1987, Julio Cesar Chavez from Mexico wins in the 11th round, referee stopping the fight against Edwin Rosario, Las Vegas, Nevada. Then April the 16th, 1988, Julio Cesar Chavez wins in the 6th round, referee stopping the fight against Rodolfo Aguilar from Panama. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada. On October the 29th, 1988, Julio Cesar Chavez wins the technical decision in the 11th round against Jose Luis Ramirez from Mexico in Las Vegas, Nevada for the WBA and WBC titles, both of which Chavez relinquishes in May 1989. So July the 9th, 1989, Edwin Rosario wins in the 6th round. Referee stops the fight against Anthony Jones from the US. That's in Atlantic City, New Jersey for the vacant WBA title. Then we've got April the 4th, 1990, Jean Nazaro wins in the 8th round, referee stopping the fight against Edwin Rosario from Puerto Rico. That was in New York. Then August 11th, 1990, Pernell Whitaker wins by KO in the 1st round against Jean Nazaro. Wins by KO in the 1st round. That's in State Line, Nevada, for the WBC and IBF WBA titles. Then we go to the WBC title. So, November the 5th, 1971, Pedro Carrasco from Spain wins the 11th round by disqualification against Mando Ramos. That was in Madrid, Spain, and then that was for the vacant title because a controversy surrounding Ramos' disqualification, the verdict was declared a null and void at a WBC meeting in Mexico on November the 20th that year. So, February the 18th, 1972, Mando Ramos wins on points over 15 rounds against Pedro Carrasco from Spain. 15 rounds points decision, he wins. That was in Los Angeles. Then the WBC later withdrew recognition of the fight as the decision was locally influenced. So July 28th, 1972, Mando Ramos wins on points over 15 rounds against Pedro Carrasco from Spain. That was in Madrid, Spain. 15 rounds points decision, he wins for the vacant title. It's obviously vacated, won it again. September the 15th, 1972, Chango Carmona from Mexico wins in the 8th round, referee stopping the fight against Mando Ramos. That was in Los Angeles. So November the 10th, 1972, Rodolfo Gonzalez from Mexico wins by retirement in the 12th round against Chango Carmona. That was in Los Angeles. Then you got March the 17th, 1973, Rodolfo Gonzalez wins in the 9th round, referee stopping the fight. It's Ruben Navarro. That was in Los Angeles. Then October the 27th, 1973, Rodolfo Gonzalez wins in the 10th round by retirement against Antonio Pardo from Italy. That was in Los Angeles, California. And then we got April 11th, 1974, Guts Ishimatsu wins in the 8th round. Guts Ishimatsu from Japan wins in the 8th round by KO against Rodolfo Gonzalez from Mexico, and that was in Tokyo, Japan. Then September the 13th, 1974, Guts Ishimatsu draws over 15 rounds against Toru Pineda from Mexico. That was in Nagoya, Japan. November the 28th, 1974, Guts Ishimatsu wins by KO in the 12th round against Rodolfo Gonzalez from Mexico. Japanese Guts Ishimatsu from Japan beats Rodolfo Gonzalez from Mexico in the 12th round by KO in Osaka, Japan. Then February the 21st, 1975, Guts Ishimatsu from Japan wins on points over 15 rounds against Ken Buchanan from Scotland in Tokyo, Japan. Then June the 5th, 1975, Guts Ishimatsu wins on points over 15 rounds against Tori Pineda from Mexico. That was in Osaka, Japan. Then December the 4th, 1975, Guts Ishimatsu wins in the 14th round by KO against Alvaro Rojas in Tokyo, Japan. Then May the 8th, 1976, Esteban de Jesus wins on points over 15 rounds against Guts. Esteban de Jesus from Puerto Rico wins over 15 rounds on points against Guts Ishimatsu from Japan. On points, he beats him in San Jose. September the 10th, 1976, Esteban de Jesus from Puerto Rico wins by KO in the 7th round against Hector Medina from Dominican Republic, I think. That was in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. February the 12th, 1977, Esteban de Jesus wins in the 6th round. The referee stops the fight against Basor Yamabe from Japan. Referee stopping the fight in the 6th round. De Jesus beats Basor Yamabe from Japan. Referee stopping the fight in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. Then June the 25th, 1977, Esteban de Jesus wins the 11th round by KO against Vincent Mijares from Mexico. Wins by KO in the 11th round against Vincent Mijares from Mexico and Bayamon, Puerto Rico. So January the 21st, 1978, Roberto Duran wins by KO against Esteban de Jesus in the 12th round in Las Vegas, Nevada. That for the vacant undisputed title. Duran relinquished the title in January 1979 because of difficulty making the weight. So we got April the 17th, 1979. Jim Watt from Scotland wins in the 12th round, referee stopping the fight against Alfredo Verdula from Colombia in Glasgow, Scotland. That is for the vacant WBC title. Then November the 3rd, 1979, Jim Watt wins in the 9th round, referee stops the fight against Roberto Vasquez from USA in Glasgow, Scotland. March the 14th, 1980, Jim Watt wins in the 4th round against Charlie Nash from Ireland, referee stopping the fight in Glasgow, Scotland. Then June the 7th, 1980, Jim Watt wins on points over 15 rounds against Howard Davis, US Olympian in Glasgow, Scotland, 15 rounds points decision. Then November the 1st, 1980, Jim Watt wins in the 12th round, referee stopping the fight against Sean O'Grady from the US. That was in Glasgow, Scotland. And then to finish, June the 20th, 1981, Alex Arguello from Nicaragua beats Jim Watt over 15 rounds on points in Wembley, England. That's where I'm going to leave it. End of the third. Bang.